Hi guys, Belle here, and I'm coming on with a flip through of this Traveller's Notebook. I actually finished this up in one of my Finished Up Friday episodes, as well as doing a small series of me working on this. So if you haven't seen those, please do go check those out. But I wanted to come on and do a flip through for those of you who may have missed that, because this journal will now be available for you to purchase in my Etsy store, link below. So this is a Traveller's Notebook, and I've used Tim Holtz scrapbook paper, used some burlap and lace on the spine. It's got this beautiful bronze metal butterfly, and then we have some vintage binding, bias binding, I think it's bias binding lace there. It's beautiful. And her name is Tilly. If you're new here, hello and welcome. In case you didn't know, I actually name every single one of my journals. And so this is Tilly. So if we look inside, I haven't used too many digitals in here. This is a digital, but I haven't actually used too many. We have this vintage, I think it's a telegram, and it's actually from 1897. It doesn't say that on there, but all the others that I purchased in the pack are from 1897. It does have the postmark and everything. It might be, I don't actually know where it's from, but there you go. So that's beautiful in there. Got some stenciled tag with some sari silk, doily, some Edith Holden. I've left a lot of space in here for writing. Tea-dyed paper. Got quite a few of these snippets made up from different fabrics and sari silk. This is from a vintage book page, and there is her name tag. This is a digital too, but as I said, I tried not to use too many digitals. Some avocado dyed paper. This is from a vintage watercolour book, and this completely opens up. We've got more tea stain paper. We've got a Tim Holtz embellishment there, and a little tuck spot there, and some stenciling. And then it's a tuck spot on the other side with one of my collage tags, and some vintage book page, and one of my embellishments with this is from a vintage book page too. Little decoration, vintage music paper. I've got a little decoration here. For those of you who don't know, these little scraps here, these coloured straps, were actually made by my younger son years ago. So I like using some of his little sheets in my work. Got eco-dyed paper, beautiful eco-dyed paper, some lovely parchment paper, a little sticker down there, a little washi sticker. Then we have this piece. So at the front, we've got one of my embellishments again, with some vintage book page behind, and a stamped image, then a collage tag, journaling card. And then this opens up on a decoration, and this is from a vintage book page too. And then on this side is a tuck spot. This is avocado dyed. Plenty of writing space. And we have a tuck spot behind. It's got this card in it. And then I've used a vintage tea card here and tucked a little piece of Tim Holtz ephemera in there. I've got some of this dyed paper. A little tab up there, some stenciling, vintage book page. So this is an eco-dyed kind of flip. Let me move. So it comes down. I've printed this out on translucent overhead projector, and then it's held closed with a Tim Holtz clip. Got another Tim Holtz piece of ephemera, just tucks behind there. Then we've got this decoupage napkin envelope. It just kind of tucks in, and then a little tag that goes in there, which picks up the pink here, picks up the pink page here. Another embellishment, some stamping, some scrapbook paper that I've turned into a pocket. We've got one of my inked and micaed feathers there. Some textured wallpaper. Edith Holden file folder that I've put tea dye paper in so that you can write on it. And one of my decorated postcards. Tea dye, this is a vintage book page. Then on this side, again, this image is from a vintage book. And this has like very thin, it's not vellum, but it has that kind of look. And then I've stamped an image underneath and some more sari silk, and that pops in there. And then just behind we have this, and again, writing space. I printed it out on tea-dyed paper. More tea-dyed paper. Some Edith Holden. This is a die cut that can be written on using some eco-dyed cardstock. And then we have a paper bag in the middle that's open on both sides that I haven't put anything in. We have these beads. This is a vintage Scottish bead and a Tim Holtz charm there. We have one of my scrappy pads here that's got all sorts of interesting papers that you could write on, or you can use the papers in your journal. And this is a vintage piece too. And then over here we've got more writing space and this cute Australian stamp down there. Turn this over. Again, this is vintage here. And we've got some handmade paper behind. This is a tuck spot here. And then this opens up. And so right in the front here, again, we've got one of these translucent Memory Decks cards, because this is all made from a vintage book page. So some labels and a ticket in there. Then we have this Tim Holtz piece that you can write on, and then this piece that again can be written on, that was from an ephemera pack. And then in the top here we have some beautiful eco-dyed cardstock. You can really see the texture on there, so that tucks in. Then we have a journal, journaling space. Then in the back we have this piece. This purple page behind is also vintage. Tim Holtz piece of ephemera in there. Another one of these pieces that you can write on the back of because it's printed on tea stain paper. I have put some vellum stickers behind there. I actually made this on one of my Finish Up Fridays as well, this piece of ephemera, in a different... on a different week. And again, in the back here we have some eco-dyed, it's just easier to do it this way, cardstock that can be written on. So lots and lots and lots of writing space, guys, but also lots of beautiful decoration. And as usual with my journals, that can't even tie ribbon, there is lots of vintage, one-of-a-kind pieces. Vintage book page. This is from a vintage book too. That opens up. Got some inks on there. I must have used that near Brusho crystals because it's got some blue on there. Little tag in here. And again, this is from a vintage book. Written on one of my embellishments. Then we have this. I actually made this again on camera a few years ago for one of the Hop Around Spring events that I was collaborating in. And then this is one of my own photographs. Again, if you don't know, if you're new here, I like to use a lot of my own photographs in journals because I love photography. And we've got a pad here. And then I've left this so you can see it because it's got lots of different plant names on there. Another little embellishment over here. One of my dried flower collaged envelopes, window envelopes. So this is vintage, this is vintage, some handmade paper up there, and then you have this tag that you can write on that just pops in there. And then here again we have some of that beautiful eco-dyed card with a fabric tab. It just fits in there. So much writing space, guys. We have a fabric paper clip embellishment here, and that's just got these tucked in. And then on the other side, I've also added one of my collage cards. We've got some Edith Holden there, some textured wallpaper. This is vintage. This is vintage. Yep, and can be written on the back. There's that beautiful parchment paper again. And again, some vellum stickers. The other side of that eco dyeing, I didn't really want to do too much to it at all because it's just beautiful on its own. We have a belly band here made from an Edith Holden book page. It's got a little pocket here. I added this embellishment. We've got these little pieces. Again, can be written on the back or used in the journal, and then a vintage postcard. It is beautiful. I can't quite read what it says up here, but it does say something. So that tucks in there. I've got some lace here with embroidery on it as a little mini flip on the avocado paper. Some more fabric embellishments. This is from a digital. And then I've added one of my, well, they're normally stamp pads. So I make these so that you can rip the image out and then use it in your journal. But actually this is from a vintage floral book. All the rest of these images are stamped, and it got this beautiful textured card there. The other side of that Edith Holden with a doily. This is a vintage image, and final one, final journaling card is actually again one of my photographs. And that is Tilly, guys. She is a beautiful traveller's notebook. She is about 4.5-ish by 8.5. And she's chunky. But are we surprised? No. No, we're not surprised. I like making chunky journals. So, because it's easy to take all these pieces out and add your own ephemera. Or if you don't have a ton of ephemera or whatever, then you've got lots to play with. So that's it, guys. She will be available, as I said, in my Etsy store. Please do check down below if you are interested, and head on over there. And thank you so much for watching. I will be back again soon. And wherever you are in the world, I hope you're having lots and lots of crafty fun. Bye for now.